Roger, go for deploy.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Oh, that was real lame that we did that together.
We are losers.
I just wanted to kind of do that on my own, and then you made it weird,
I ruined
man.
the thunder.
You made it weird.
Wait.
You kind of verbally jacked me off in front of everyone. It was
Such
gross,
disgusting
man.
mental image.
It's gross.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Anyway, welcome back.
Welcome back.
So today's show was a really interesting one, guys. I had a good conversation with Tommy. Most of it revolved around...
Tommy's a good dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a
good guy.
He's all right. He's a bit of a knob
He
shiner,
sucks.
but
He's a knob shiner.
He's all right. But it's mainly revolved around artificial intelligence in the end. Mm-hmm. We discussed a few things, but we discussed artificial intelligence. It was on my mind because we had a show with PW Singer lined up this morning, which we ended up rescheduling because of a few things. I thought it was Peter Singer, actually.
A few personal issues.
But I'd been taking in a book on artificial intelligence called our final invention, and basically, really interesting book about the risks of artificial intelligence and what that could mean on our lives. So me and Tommy pretty much shot a whole bunch of shit about that.
Yeah. Good shit, though.
Good
like
shit. I
really
think it was
nice, fibrous poo.
I felt like there was a whole lot more substance to this
Poo.
This absolute garbage that came out of our mouths than the one
normal.
in the global warming episode
Oh,
a
God.
couple of weeks ago. We did get a little bit of grief.
Bit of backlash.
bit of backlash.
Bit of splashback.
We got a bit of a
Bit of kibbutz, man.
Yeah, we got a bit straight back in the old
the chuvan.
Yeah, right in the old.
In the bunuts.
Yep, we face palmed ourselves big time on that one.
We did.
But,
Ass palmed.
But it was all right. I think we
did pretty well.
I think we made a lot more scientific sense in this one.
A lot more scientific sense. Definitely. Yep. I agree. Well, should we take the time to chuck in some sponsors?
You doing your Stewie impersonation?
No, I'm not doing my Stewie Griffin impersonation.
Yeah, go on. Lead us off. Who we got?
Well, we got True Pride.
Who are
True
they?
Pride are pretty good. They're a wealth creation service, mate.
What do they do?
Well, they kind of help you with the budget.
What type of budget?
Well, just any sort of, if you're saving up for something, if you feel like you're in debt, you feel like you're in poverty.
So if I'm in debt, then what would I go to them for?
Well, you would go to True Pride to get yourself back on track. But the only annoying
What do you
thing
mean
is,
by back on track? How would they do it?
Well, I mean, you pay an initial fee. You pay a $297 fee.
Do you or don't you?
Well, it depends. It truly depends. So you can go.
Could you get the fee-free kind of service?
You can get it waived. You can definitely get it waived if you head to www.truepride.com.au/ADVF.
So you mean you would get a fee of $297 waived if you were to go to, what was the website?
So I think it was www.truepride, that's TRUEPRIDE.com.au/ADVF. And then you basically spend $297, but then get it back. And then all of a sudden...
you don't even spend it. It doesn't have to come out of a card. That's not what happens.
Well, okay, so essentially you just don't have to spend anything. You just have to go to a website. You just have to click a website.
Do you? That's freaking
all you have to
amazing.
do is just click a website, and then...
And then what will they...
You'll probably end up saving about... Well, so for me, for example, I probably started saving about $65 a week. And that's close to moving to $80 a week now. And I feel on top of the world. I feel healthy. I'm talking a little fast here, but that's okay because I'm enjoying it.
So what would one pay for this service?
Absolutely donuts.
But month to month, there must be some sort of a charge.
Well, let's not get hasty, my friend. No. So just head there, guys. You won't enjoy it. I mean, you will enjoy it. Carve.
Wait. So True Pride is $97 month to month. No, $297 waived. And it costs you $97 a month, and you can save $600 a month is the average.
Yep.
With the True Pride Wealth Creation Services.
Correct.
Carve.
Now, what would you head to Carve, Bill?
Carve are VA service.
Okay, so what do they specifically do?
VA would be virtual assistant.
Okay, and what are we talking about there?
We're talking about assistants that work virtually.
Okay, and do you want to allude into, to progress into something else here?
So by virtually, I mean they work for you virtually all the time.
Virtually all the time. Okay, cool. Okay, so
About 40 hours a week.
40 hours a week, right?
They can sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Or they can work on smaller projects for 1 hour or 2 hours.
Okay.
Virtually.
And so why would you want to go to them?
Well, it's virtually it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if I had a project and I wanted to, geez, I wish I couldn't be bothered doing this. I wish I could offload it to someone else. Where would I go? Where would I go?
Oh, well, I mean, in this virtual world, you'd probably head to www.carve.ph/ADVF.
And so
That's where I'd start.
Why would I put the ADVF at the end there?
Well, if you did that, I mean, it's only common knowledge. It means you get virtually 10 hours free.
Well, virtually 10 hours free. Jeez, that's pretty. Maybe I should. Okay. So it's an online project, sort of. Managing little.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, that sounds pretty good. Well, how about we get stuck into the show?
Well, I'd like to obviously thank Adventure Travel, of course.
Well, I mean, we can thank Adventure Travel. Yeah, we should probably get around them. Yeah. For shows and for trips and.
So we've got Tommy's dog. Little Steve next to us, and Steve likes Adventure Fit.
He doesn't mind
Adventure Fit Travel, don't you, boy?
Don't you, Steve? Was that him?
And that's why you should head to www.adventurefittravel.com and use radio for a 10% discount on all trips, all whatever else we got going on there, merchandise, all
that shit,
drugs we sell on the black web,
the black web,
the dark web,
the black web, the African American web. Is that good?
Hashtag racist.
Is that racist?
You are racist, man.
Wait, but isn't that what you call black people? African American. Is that racist?
You are going further, man.
Really?
Further and further.
I didn't know that's racist.
I'm joking. Here's the show. Hey, did you see the two massive announcements the other day?
Yeah.
They happened on the same day, and I'm just going to look them up. I'm just going to look one of them up while I talk.
Donald Trump?
No, not with the old Trumpinator.
Clump?
But first was Elon Musk's
I
solar
saw that.
tiles.
Yeah.
What a fucking gangster.
Oh, huge.
How good is that shit?
Mate, I love it. I want to... have you read his book?
Nah, I've got it in my Audible.
It's a good book.
Oh,
really
you've read
good
it?
book. Yeah, I've read it. Yep, good book.
I'm
done.
I'm really excited to read it. Actually,
they're so fascinating, billionaires.
Billionaires.
Isn't he?
Why are they fascinating?
Well, they're just like
in general?
Yeah, in general. I mean, they have a lot of money.
Massive generalisation.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of them work tirelessly, but a lot of them seem to be kind of bullies.
Yeah,
like just,
maybe.
Nothing will stop in their way from getting to where they want to be. Just tireless workers.
Well, you probably got to be pretty ruthless as a. They reckon Elon Musk has a I can just don't take no for an answer policy.
Yeah.
So if someone comes to him and says, "Hey, look, unfortunately the Model 3, so the Tesla. Model 3, it's 6 months behind production time. We're not going to be able to release it in time." He's just like, "No,
yeah,
we are releasing it on time.
Yeah.
Fucking make it happen."
Yeah.
So you got to kind of.
That's
I don't
cool.
know. I'm not sure.
It's tough.
I don't know enough about the billionaires of the world. There's a lot of them now.
I know a few of them.
So Elon Musk has the solar tile, which is cheaper. He says it's going to be cheaper to install, cheaper to run your energy, and it doesn't fucking break. Did you see that?
Insane.
Did you see the actual thing?
I saw like 5 minutes of it. And when I saw 5 minutes, I saw the news report that Elon Musk said something.
And when you say you saw the news report, you saw a picture of Elon Musk on Facebook going through on an IFL Science.
On an IFL Science, yeah.
And when you read Elon Musk's book, and when you say you read Elon Musk's book, you actually listen to it. When you say listen to it,
I didn't even listen to it. And then when I said who Elon Musk is, I didn't even know.
So the tiles are designed so they don't break. You know how terracotta tiles and slate tiles, they break when you walk them if you're walking them wrong?
Is that like terracotta cheese?
They did a demonstration of dropping a kettlebell from 2 meters above the tiles, and there was like terracotta, slate, some other type of tiles, Elon Musk tiles.
Yep.
Elon Musk tiles, it just bounces back up.
What about 4 meters? Like if you went to a high distance.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, like, are they tested for that?
But the bigger...
He's not that good.
The bigger thing that came out on the same exact day, and I don't know if you know about this, Have you fucking heard about Uber's plan in 10 years? Uber announced that in 10 years, they are planning to roll out their flying cars.
What?
100% they announced it. They announced it last week.
Flying cars?
Flying cars.
Why
Automated transport in the air.
Yeah. Why do we need flying cars?
Because think of like...
It's cooler.
Cooler.
Oh, so it just gets rid of all the...
Jetsons wise.
It's just cool, yeah. No,
Well-
because it just gets rid of all the traffic.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's going to be at the same price as an Uber.
Yeah. Really?
Yep. So they're going to be... They announced it. Like, this is it here.
Yep.
It's
that looks like a plane.
It's probably...
7 years, Uber has gutted the American taxi.
I wonder if the listeners can hear this.
Launched a fleet of self-driving cars.
Can you guys hear this? They can't.
Most valuable startup in history. Whatever.
Yeah. Who's this good douche?
Uber is promising flying cars. Flying.
I actually haven't seen this.
Yeah, this looks really cool. I like
The
this.
company calls it Uber Elevate, and it says that within 10 years, we'll be running a global network of on-demand, urban electric vehicles.
Uber Elevate.
But they're flying helicopters.
Yep.
Okay. Deep breath here. Uber has no plans to actually build and certify.
Yeah, that looks
flying
sick.
cars. It says
Except they're flying helicopters. They're not flying cars.
regulatory and infrastructure.
Well, it depends what you want to call them, mate. They're
Helicopters.
well, they're flying...
Do they go up and then they go...
Well, they're not... I don't know. They're not cars.
So
They're flying...
they're helicars.
Yeah, they're car-like transport through the air.
Carlicopters.
They're... Yeah, car helicopters.
Carlicopters.
No, but in all seriousness, though, they announced... they announced like 10 days ago
They're gonna do that.
in 10 years they plan to have fully automated flying transport. Flying cars,
It's
basically.
a lot of work just to get a burrito from down the road.
Yeah, so it'll take out all the traffic congestion. Like, think of like if half the people... Think of in 50 years if half the people are taking flying cars, half the people are on transport. And then think about if it's all automated cars. Think about if it's all... it's going to be traffic. With automated cars, traffic reduces so fucking much, it's ridiculous.
But what about in 50 years' time when the population's grown so much that there'll just be just as much traffic up there as there is down here? Because there's going to be like 50,000 billion, trillion, billion people in the world in like the next like 4 years.
There's I think we're going to max out at like 9 billion and then we're going to start receding.
Really? And then we're going to start just culling people off.
So, yeah, I mean, it's still... Mate, I'm talking about fucking flying
Yeah, I know,
cars.
just
You're like,
bring you on a
what happens
tangent."
if... it's a fucking flying car.
Yeah, I know, it's cool. But it's just like the picture like just put me off it a bit because it looks like a helicopter.
Yeah, well,
like, I
I
want a
reckon they're going to be
fucking
like
flying
little
car.
pods. Well, they're going to be on... Well, they're going to fucking fly, don't they?
But
they're not going to
it's-
fly with their... They're not going to
No, but-
spin their wheels. They're going to... and then just take off.
We're not getting any air. But I want to see like some like... What
is that?
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
You know, like Back to the Future sort of stuff.
Oh, I think it'll be... Well, in
it'll be
my
like that?
opinion, flying fucking taxis is pretty Back to the Future.
Yeah, well, yeah, but if it looks like that, like we've had that shit in the 60s. Helicopters. It's basically just putting helicopters up there.
Yeah, I suppose.
I know
Fuck,
what
you've
you're
really
trying to say.
fucking killed me. Killed my buzz here, man.
No, have some more Coke, man.
Oh, there it is.
What was that?
It's a flying car.
Oh, that is
a car with wings, motherfucker.
Oh, that is sick. Oh my god.
We'll put the link to this in. This is on Wired.
Oh my god.
This is on Wired.com. We'll put the link to this
that
in
is
our
sick. That is a flying car.
in our show notes, guys. But Uber, there's a lot more companies out there as well that are working on this technology.
That is amazing. Oh, do you know what though?
What?
Why don't they just do drones?
Drones?
Yeah, flying drones.
What are you talking about? These are pretty much flying drones.
Yeah, but what?
What are you talking
No,
about?
but no, a car needs to be automated. No, a car needs
What?
to be like no. So a car is like way bigger. So like okay, okay. Let's fucking
A point at some point.
So look at this.
Would
So
be good.
so you think
What did you just do?
I don't know.
Go on. Come on. Let's make some sense.
So think about this, right? So Uber is like a delivery. Oh, so they're doing Uber for people.
Well, what the fuck does Uber do normally, mate?
I was thinking Uber Eats.
Uber for fucking bricks.
I was thinking Uber Eats for the past 20 minutes.
Oh,
so I
right.
just couldn't get around my head that they would have these massive cars to deliver a
deliver
pizza
pizza.
to your house.
Man, is that why you said that pizza gag at the
yes.
start?
Oh,
right.
so they want people to go in the cars.
Yes,
oh,
mate.
shit.
Remember what Uber actually started for?
Oh, well, this is great.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness,
Okay, so that's cool.
isn't it?
They still look like shitty helicopters, though.
You were just getting stoked at them, you idiot.
Yeah, I've lost it.
You were like, oh my God, look at that. They got wheels and wings.
Yeah, but they got fans. So that
And wings.
yeah, but you can't. I don't know.
You are a fucking real. You're really hard to please, man.
How high can it go then?
Look at that.
That looks pretty cool.
That is a flying car if I've ever seen one. Like I said, we'll link this in the show notes so you guys can get excited.
Is that a real car now?
What do you mean?
Is it like
It's flying through the fucking air, man.
Was that like a concept model? Or
I'm not sure. Yeah,
they
maybe.
Yeah,
I'm really not sure.
well,
But
that looks pretty cool then. I guess it's all right. Talk about the Elon Musk one.
What Elon Musk one? What? We're talking about what?
The fucking solar panel one.
Oh no, that's pretty much it.
What
Solar panel roofs that look pretty much better.
Cowbells off them.
They just look better than a normal roof. You know how at the moment you've got solar panels on roofs and it's like, fuck, you got to get a solar panel installed on your roof. Looks like shit. Looks like a big fucking obstruction on the top of your roof. Yeah. And then if people have tiles, they have that nice slate tile look, or they have the big Spanish terracotta looking tile look. You know, it's a design part of the house. A roof's a very important part aesthetically to a house.
It is.
Well, this looks exactly like the house.
Yep.
They have 4 different styles for the 4 most common type of tile, and it runs your whole house. You
Really?
install it at the start. So Elon Musk did the announcement in Silicon Valley where he was at a part of Silicon Valley that was surrounded by... They bought all the houses. So there was 5 houses in this little cul-de-sac, and they bought them all, or built them all, sorry, and they were all fully... electric, fully autonomous houses. So everything in the house was autonomous.
So that's
everything in the house was electric.
Everything was autonomous.
Made that up. They had an autonomous car. They had the new Tesla come out of the driveway. So you walk out of your door, the car comes out of the garage.
Yeah.
You get in there, drives you to work, drops you off, goes get a park.
Yeah.
So that's obviously. It did say. I'm pretty sure he said they're fully autonomous, but I might be. Yeah, like the house. You know, like you walk in, lights on. You know, clap clap light, fucking.
What about if you want to make like a toasted sandwich? Hey Siri, sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's insane.
Hey Siri, make me a toasted sandwich. My Siri's fucking cooked itself.
All right, I'll try with my iPhone 1. Hey Siri, make me a toasted sandwich.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
Shittest cook ever.
All right.
Anyway.
Hey Siri, you really are shit, aren't you?
There's no need for that.
Oh, that's good. She's smart.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
But anyway, it's pretty fucking interesting. I wasn't so big on the Solar City Tesla tile thing's awesome because your
That's
house,
cool.
like you install it at the start of your house, and
then
it's cheap as
at the
fuck.
start
And
of
then
your house.
Yeah.
So essentially, your house would be fully autonomous.
All right, and thanks for listening, guys. We'll never do this to you again. This show, but
Hey, what I think would be interesting is, do you imagine the world? You haven't seen the movie Her yet, have you?
No.
Okay, you're not keen to see it?
You want to go see it, do you? You want to see it again?
Do you
You want to put it on after? No, I didn't say that. I just haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie.
No, but
it looked
it's
a bit
really good.
Weird.
It's very weird. It's
Yeah,
about
no, I wouldn't mind
Siri
seeing it.
in the future.
Yeah,
but
that's
Siri
cool.
becomes
I should say it.
Siri becomes conscious. So Siri has a conscience, and it's Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson's fucking hot. But the thing is,
But it's her voice, right?
it's her voice, which is fine. I'll cop the voice.
Yeah.
But he eventually falls in love with Siri, which is a very real concept.
Have you seen Deus Ex Machina?
What'd you just call me?
Oh no, Ex Machina. You seen Ex Machina?
No.
Ex Machina is the same thing.
Oh, right.
It's about you know the Turing Test.
Yeah.
So Alan Turing, Tommy says yes and gives me a shakes his head as a no. I'm just gonna I'll rat you out all the time, don't I?
You fucking always throw me under the bus. It's like 3,000 people. It's fucking killing me.
But Alan Turing, the from the Enigma code, who cracked the Nazis' codes in World War II. Alan Turing. He also,
I actually do know
He
that.
also came up with a test. That means it's a test, and it's when you have a computer in a room and you have a person in a room and you're asking them questions.
Yeah.
When you can't decipher, or when you think that the computer is the human,
Yep.
you can't decipher which one is the human. That means the computer has passed the Turing test.
Yeah, it's smarter than you.
Yeah,
And I think that's going to happen pretty soon, don't they?
Can be seen to be more human than you.
And
than a human.
that's going to happen pretty soon, isn't it? In the next 20 years or something.
They
Did I
reckon
say
well, people put different time domains on it. 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, maybe not 10 years, but the Turing test. So I keep saying Deus Ex Machina, the fucking motorcycle brand, but Ex Machina is a movie that has it has an AI. So this chick who lives with this guy, and then this guy goes to live with the other guy, and he ends up falling in love with the machine.
Yep.
You know, she's like super smoking too.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
But
machine.
but it's so that's the Turing test. But
he was an amazing dude, wasn't he?
yeah, he was good.
Sad life though. Really sad life.
Yeah. He killed himself.
Well, he killed himself because he could come to terms with the fact that he was homosexual, but like everyone just nutted him out. And
it was just I
was it
think
based on that?
Yeah, he killed himself because he laced an apple with cyanide.
Yeah.
And took a bite out of the apple.
Oh,
you know that
he was sick.
That.
Because I've seen the movie.
You know the Apple logo.
Yeah.
I'm just going to Google this just to make sure. Where is the Apple logo from? It's from
like this thing right here with the
apple
bite
with a bite out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from that's to commemorate Alan Turing. Yeah, he killed himself. He put cyanide in an apple.
Why did he do that?
And he took one bite.
So
I
that's
don't know,
how
maybe
he
it was his
killed
favorite
himself.
fruit. Yeah, the Apple logo is said to be.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Alan Turing, a tribute to Alan Turing.
Yeah.
It's said to be from Alan Turing.
Really? So that's how he killed himself. Like he wasn't doing a test and he accidentally killed himself. He killed himself because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he was. I think he was ashamed. He was ashamed
for his sexuality.
Well, he was shamed from the public.
Yeah, he was shamed. He was
for being homosexual.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. That's insane.
But
great movie though.
Why do we get onto her and Ex Machina? We're talking about Siri, but
we're talking about
automated cars and stuff. But so I've been reading a book called Humanity's Last Invention, talking about AI. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it, and just preparing for that PW Singer interview that I thought was Peter Singer. But it's really interesting. So the premise of that is AI being our last invention
before we get taken over.
Before we don't invent anything anymore because as soon as we invent a computer that's smarter than us, then the computers invent the computers.
Yep.
And the computers invent everything else.
Yep.
Well, to a degree.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so true.
And the other thing,
based
the other
on the
reason
premise that they can continue to grow.
Yeah. The other thing is like they say that it's called our last invention or our final invention is also because they think that AI, like Stephen Hawking said, AI is the biggest risk to mankind.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
it definitely is.
Because you think of so Moore's law. Moore's law is the law that computer power will computer speed and computer processing power will double every 2 years. I think.
Well, the exponential increase.
Well, it doubles every 2 years, but if it doubles and it doubles and it doubles, then it's like it's quadrupled.
Yeah,
because of growth.
Exactly.
Because compound growth.
Exactly. So like 50 years from 50 years ago to now, he's going to be like in the next 50 years, it's going to be like 200 of that.
Yeah, that's right. So, but if you think of human intelligence is just bytes.
Yeah.
You know how quickly you can process something, processing speed.
Yeah.
Whatever, and then
1 Q a second.
And then same as you can look at a computer program, you can say, okay, this is how fast, how smart the computer is, basically. So we're going to get to a point. Some futurists and philosophers and so forth think that in 20 years we'll get to the point where the computer is as smart as a human. Some people think it might take 50 years. It's called the Singularity. It's referred to as the Singularity.
Yeah.
So, but once you get to that point, so you think of how fucking scary this is. This is why James Cameron's smart as fuck. James Cameron, Avatar's talking about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
100%. And Terminator is talking about artificial intelligence. Skynet is artificial intelligence.
It is.
So, but if you think in 20 years, for example, say we get to, there's AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is intelligence that is basically on our level, general intelligence like every human has. Then it gets to a point where it's called artificial superintelligence after probably 5 to 10 years, where it's so fucking smart that we can't even fathom how smart it is.
Yeah.
So you think of mankind and humanity and how intellectual we are and the point we've gotten to now, and it's taken billions of years. So a computer's going to reach that in 50 years. So if their computer processing speed doubles every 2 years, then say it happens in 2050, for example, Then 2052, a computer's going to be smarter than a human by a factor of fucking 2.
Yeah.
It's twice as smart as a human.
Growing.
Yeah. Then, or a factor of, anyway, it's going to be twice as smart as a human. Then it's going to be 4 times as smart as a human 1 year later. Then it's going to be 8 times as smart as a human 6 months after that. No.
Well,
You know what I mean.
Whatever it is, the only thing that I don't...
But within every 2 years, if it's doubling, so by 8 years down the track, it's going to be so intellectually fucking gifted that we can't even fathom what it's going to be able to get up to. So that's why we can't control it, because as soon as we start artificial intelligence, then if it's self-replicating and self-improving...
But that's the thing there, self-improving. How do we know it's going to be self-improving? Because the thing about humanity that's different from any form of technology that we've made is that we make like an Apple computer, or we make like a Siri and that, or an iPhone. I mean, that's amazing, but they're not self-improving. I mean, humans are still running the updates on those things. Like we need to make sure for this theory.
I don't think they do. Like a lot of computers, a lot of computer programs that run. What's an example? A lot of computer programs are self-improving.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I can't think of a good example. But put it this way: this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I know.
We're trying to get to a point where the computers are self-improving.
I know, but we don't. I mean, James Cameron, exactly.
But it's an intelligence race.
Yeah, but that's not good.
It's like the nuclear arms race.
Scary. It literally is.
Like the nuclear arms race. So it's
a frog in boiling water.
Yeah. What is that?
Well, it's essentially like it's kind of like if you just put a frog in boiling water straight off the bat when it's boiling, you're like, oh fuck, I shouldn't do that. Get out of it straight away.
Hang on, the frog jumps out.
Yeah,
yes.
the frog jumps out. Yeah, but if you put a frog in water and then slowly boil it, because it takes a while to boil, you won't see what's happening until it's already cooked.
It's too late.
Until it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's an arms race.
Yeah.
You know, it's a artificial intelligence arms race, and it's because whoever gets to AGI, artificial general intelligence, first, they're gonna want this to be self-improving. They're gonna be going full hammer and tongs, because whoever gets to artificial general intelligence first wins everything. Because computers doubling over 2 years is like a hard and true fact. You know, so if we can get computers that can double, that's what humans can do, mind you. We can double the computer processing power every 2 years. So computers are going to be better than that, and they're going to get better and better and better and better. And so whoever gets to the finish line first wins the race and wins everything, because they're going to have control of this intelligence that's going to be so much further advanced than anyone else. And we don't. So people think of it in terms of it's going to save the world.
Yeah.
Like
I don't see it like that at all. Neil
deGrasse Tyson, Ray Kurzweil, they're very positive in the fact of artificial intelligence. Ray Kurzweil believes that, you know, we're probably going to that a human's been born that's going to be able to live forever, or for at least hundreds of years. You think of something that's smarter than humans by a factor of fucking 20 times in, say, 2060 or 2080.
Yeah, it's going to learn how to get rid of all this shit. Yeah.
Cure famine.
Yep.
Colonize other planets in the galaxy. And so that's fucking great. But the problem is...
That's great for us, but it may have its own secret personal agenda.
Well, the problem is how smart the computers get, and if we make sure that we keep them in line with us.
Yeah, that's right.
In line with our values. Because if you get a computer... Yeah. If you get a computer and you say, okay, eradicate famine, then the computer might...
do something that will have another ripple effect. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. It's like iRobot. Have you seen iRobot?
Yeah, it's just like iRobot.
It's exactly like iRobot. But there's a TV series you have to watch, and all the listeners that are listening now, if you find this stuff as interesting as Bill and I do, there's a TV series on Netflix called Black Mirror, which is, it's set, so each of the episodes, there's like 3 seasons now, there's like 4 episodes in one season. They're just short little, basically like long movies. They go for an hour each or something.
Short little long movies,
yeah. And
of course,
each episode is a different thing altogether. So you can just start from wherever, you don't have to follow on. But it's
short little long movies.
Short little long movies. But basically it's a...
How long are they?
They're like 1 hour. 1 hour per episode. And it's basically...
So short little movies.
Short little movies.
Yep.
Short little movies, yeah.
Gotcha.
And They're basically, it's set like 10 to 20 years in our future, and it's a very realistic, bleak, dystopian future. So it's based on all the technology that we have today, what that could eventuate into in 10 to 20 years, and how negatively or positively that would affect us and make us different. And it's amazing. I mean, you just have a look at the episode that I just watched recently was where these people are effectively in a theorized rat race where they jump on this bike. They have merits, and they jump on this bike, and every calorie they burn, they earn a merit, or they earn like $1, for example. So there's no currency. It's just, there is. It's just called merits. And they watch tons and tons of TV filled with like porn ads, filled with like everything. Like it's just, pretty much what we do now, which is shocking. But every now and then they have a chance to go on this talent show and win big and earn like a house and everything. And basically what it's just alluding to is that we're all kind of in this rat race now where we work for the man and we go to work and we come home and go home and, go to work, come home. And yet every now and then one person goes on a talent show, becomes ultra famous, and then all of a sudden has all the success and the money and the girls or the guys in the world. But everyone else is just trapped in this rat race, And it's just, that's the general concept of it. All forms of true direct communication are gone because everyone in this future is talking through their screens and their technology, and everyone has their own personal avatar. So no one even talks to people anymore. Everyone's isolated and depressed because the fundamentals of human emotion are very, very direct and personal. And when you take that away, people literally lose sight of who they are and become depressed and anxious.
Okay, guys, just before we carry on,
Steve.
We just want to quickly talk about Carve a little more. So Carve, guys, Carve are a service that we use in the Philippines for running our virtual assistant. So virtual assistant means somebody that works for you from abroad, basically. So we have assistants that work full-time at Adventure Fit. We have one for the radio, Alvino. We have two for Adventure Fit Travel, Mondor and Aronius. And that's the boys. And they are great. They work full-time. We pay around $6 US, $8 Australian for those guys. And they do a great job. They do They do absolutely everything in the business, actually, and I just oversee bigger projects and try and grow Adventure Fit. Everything that's day-to-day is taken care of by the guys. Everything that's that goes into the back end and the social media and everything about podcasts is taken care of by Alvin. And it's amazing because you're able to take yourself out of the equation. So think of what you value your time at. If you value your time at $40 an hour, $50 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever it is, you're able to double, triple, quadruple the amount of input you can go and get for that same amount of time, so you're not having to spend that time yourself. So it's great. Upscale your business. Get some time back in your life.
Just burped then?
No, I went. I hiccuped. I hiccuped. Head to www.carve.ph/ADVF. Check them out. You can get 10 hours free. Also, if you need, head to email me at doc@adventurefittravel.com if you have any questions about how it works or how we manage our assistants. Tommy, are we sponsored by anyone else?
Yeah, I think we're sponsored by Carve. We're sponsored by True Pride. True Pride are a wealth creation service, Bill.
Cool.
You know that?
And why should people join True Pride?
Well, in all honesty, True Pride...
Don't tell us honestly.
Oh, tell us
make it
dishonestly.
sound good.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's good, Joe. Well, I mean, they're the best bloody website in the world. Now, look, they've actually saved me a lot of money. Craig and the boys down there. That sounds weird. Dirty Mike and the boys. Craig and the boys have sessions together, and they do some things that's pretty sexual. And when they hear this, they'll probably have a go at me. But that's okay. Like, I'm here to tell the truth. Now, look, True Pride has honestly helped me with my budget so much. I find myself not spending money on little things that I used to anymore, and it's purely because I've got someone that's holding me accountable, and I've got a budget that's always updated regularly, and I can look back on it, and it's really, really, really good. So you may be thinking, can't you just hold yourself to that yourself, or budget yourself? And I think with budgeting, it comes to a point where you just have to bite the bullet and pay for something that will really help, and this has definitely helped me. And I'm by no means a very bad spender, but this has made me go from an average saver to a good saver. So head to www.truepride.com.au/ADVF to get your initial fee of $297 completely waived. So there's no initial startup cost, and you can get right into saving.
You can book a call too. You can book a call with them, have a chat, figure out if it works for you, and then if you do want to go ahead, you get the joining fee waived, and you're off and away.
And then you're done. All right, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, it's like why when you go to prison, solitary confinement is the worst
It's
thing
the worst
known
thing
to
you
man.
do.
You're in with rapists and murderers
Yep.
and fucking criminals, and you get put in solitary confinement, you go crazy.
Yep, exactly.
You literally go crazy in days.
Exactly right. Yeah, but all of these episodes are fantastic because they all take one theory or one bit of current technology that we have. They look at it 10 to 20 years down the future and look at just how bad it's going to get. If we don't do anything about it, or if we don't come to terms with it, we don't become more self-aware. Because I know there's be a lot of kids growing up that would just have had a phone in their hand from 5 or 10 and would have no idea what it's like to not have that. So I mean, like, you and I are kind of lucky in a sense, and older people probably listening to the show now will go, "Oh, fucking Bill and Tom have got no idea." You know, back in my day, we had to, whatever. But we've come from a time where there weren't phones and all that sort of stuff, so we still appreciate getting away from that.
Mobile phones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It's pretty interesting, the whole... It's one of my biggest topics that I like to really delve right into. The artificial intelligence thing is
Scary.
It's really, really scary. It depends on if you can program niceness, to be nice
Well, they had
to
3
humans.
laws with
Yeah,
iRobot.
those 3. Yeah, that's right. And that's the 3 laws. The 3 laws are. Let's look them up.
Yeah. Well, the third one was something like it doesn't coincide. Oh, I don't know. That's a word.
But the 3 laws of robotics are. They're also created for basically.
Yeah, read them out.
Yeah, they're basically. They're created for, entertainment value as well. But they're the best 3 laws that we have at the moment.
Yep.
So the first law is a robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm.
Yep.
A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings, except where orders would conflict with the first law.
Yep.
So you can't tell a robot to kill a human.
Yep.
Which is already getting broken by drones in
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
What's happening with drones?
Drones kill people over in the Middle East all the time.
Oh, yeah,
American
yeah,
drones
that's
just
true.
killing fucking tons of people.
Oh, yes, true. That's actually very true. It's really interesting.
A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
Yeah.
So they're the basic 3 laws of robotics, which, they're built for kind of they're built by an author to create theatre.
Yeah.
But people still work of them and think they're going to work. But basically, it depends if artificial general intelligence, which is us basically in a computer, gets to the point where artificial superintelligence and it can think for itself. Doesn't have to have a consciousness.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to have a consciousness, but if it can forward think, if it thinks, okay, this is not right, I need to fix this.
Yeah.
Then we need to be careful of that, because in this book, and I just looked in my phone because I wrote down a quote and I couldn't remember what it was, but in this book, there's a great quote, and it's waking up to an artificial superintelligence. Waking up would be like waking up in a prison guarded by mice. We're the mice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
We're like,
yeah.
oh, do this, do that.
Yeah.
We
It's
control
like, well,
you.
I
We
can
want, yeah.
fucking kill you in a
and
second.
then it's like, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, do we really, at the end of the day, we think we run the planet because we're the smartest on the planet.
Yep.
We
See,
get
that's another thing, though, and I don't want to cut you off, but, like, I am. And that's another thing that we just don't know.
we don't know if dolphins are smarter than us.
Well, we don't even know. Yeah,
Whales
that's
are
right.
smarter than us. Ants are smarter than us. Yeah, you're right. But it's for the sake of the argument, like, we're the smartest thing on the planet, so we care about gorillas and we care about lions and we care about fucking save the whales, which is all great, but we don't give a fuck if we stand on 10 ants.
Yeah, that's right.
And we swat mosquitoes.
And why
we
should
squat
we?
fly swatters.
Yeah.
So people get upset because we'll go and hunt animals in Africa, but fly swatters can be bought at every like, that's fucking crazy.
Well, that's
but
what
we
Sam
don't give
Harris
a fuck
talks
about
about.
flies because they're so insignificant compared to us.
Yep.
So when a computer gets to the point where it's 50,000 in say we get to the Singularity.
Yep.
Artificial general intelligence 2050, then by 2150, the computers are going to be 5,000 times smarter than us.
Yeah. And we're screwed.
Probably a trillion times smarter than us. So at that point, do they give a fuck about what we care about?
Well, the only thing is...
Because we don't know what we're talking about compared to them. They know so much more, and so much more is what's right, what should work, it's morality even.
Yeah, that's right. The only thing about that, though, is that where we have consciousness, so we're emotive and we don't always think 100% logically. And computers, to the best of my understanding, they will continue to, self-improve and all this sort of stuff, will only be able to think logically. So how's that going to shape? Like, do you think it's because a lot of people think that, well, if they'll be able to develop to a point where they'll be able to develop consciousness?
Nah, they don't. I don't think they'll be able to develop consciousness, but they'll be able to think emotively 100%.
How?
Because there's computer algorithms right now, like I forget what it's called. There's like Google, for example, are working on this stuff. There's all these huge corporate firms that have the power, as much money as a small nation, that are working on these things. And if you go through Google, if you've got an algorithm, if you've got a computer that's like a data scraper that goes through every fucking article ever written by in Google and can correlate words and actions and emotions to trends, then you can build emotions into a computer.
Yeah,
you can. You 100% can. This is what
emotions.
This is what, not emotion like the computer feels bad, but the computer knows what's right and wrong and what people will feel like in certain situations.
It can read emotions, but it can't itself feel.
But that doesn't matter.
Well, I reckon it does.
In terms
of thinking, it does, because we always
it still will think the way that we'll be feeling. So it'll still think like a human. It just won't have those feelings inside of itself in its consciousness.
So if I was really angry, and then I just had a very angry sort of thought process in my head because I was thinking, I was emotional and all that sort of stuff, and then I went out and made a decision that was subconsciously based on my feeling of anger, you're saying that a computer would be able to do the same thing. But if it gets to the singularity, why would it do that?
Yeah, well, it would still think rationally, but it would understand emotions.
It would, yeah.
It wouldn't probably go and fucking flip off the boil and do something crazy like a human would.
Yeah.
But it will still have emotive responses to things that it does because it knows what emotions are attached to what actions in the world.
Yeah, no, I get that. I just think that some of the best things in the world have happened based on emotions. Like, I want to get back at this dude, so I'll invent it or whatever. You know what I mean? For a computer to understand emotions is one thing, which is good, but at this point, when they're going to be so technologically advanced, it's still going to be thinking logically because it's smarter than us. So it's going to go, although I can understand that by feeling Bill's anger right now, I should say something which would be an emotional. I'm going to think logically and do it this way, which is going to lead us on a very different path to if we could truly be emotional and have a consciousness.
Yeah, I think it still ends in the same spot though. The computer's still the goal is for the computer to be self-improving.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then the computers are going to be so smart, they're going to be able to do so many things, and we're going to employ them to do everything.
But being irrational and being emotional in your decision-making process isn't smart. Or
no, that's right.
Sometimes it is.
That's
sometimes
right.
it's not.
That's right. But being rationally, if you think rationally, if you're trying to improve the planet,
logically?
Rationally and logically.
Yeah.
Then you're probably not going to think in our interests.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
And act in our interests.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I forget what point we started at.
Yeah. No. So what I'm saying is that if a computer is self-improving and always getting better, it's always going to be thinking logically. Well, to the best of our ability. To the best of its ability. But sometimes there are decisions that are well thought through based on an emotional undertone. Like some decisions in our history have been based off emotional undertones, and that's turned out to be the best decision.
Well,
so
computers still have to have that programmed in.
Yeah, but they can't. If they're self-improving.
But they do though, because Tesla's cars, the automated cars, one of the biggest problems with automated cars and the things that people have had to spend the most time and money on, don't fucking quote me on this obviously, I'm a total pseudoscientist, but is the philosophical problems. So you know, like the pushing the fat man philosophical problem.
What happens?
We talked about the other day. Trains on the track.
Oh yeah.
Trains
That's
on the
right.
track.
Yeah.
Do you kill 5 young girls, or do you push the fat man on the bridge? It'll stop the train. So you have to let the girls get hit, or push the fat man yourself. It's not the same as that exactly, but basically
Kind of like kill one to save 10.
Yeah. Like, so, for example, you've got a car that's driving along and there's concrete girders on each side.
Yep.
There's an old lady that jumps onto the road. You can kill the old lady. You can swerve in the road and kill yourself, or you can swerve to the left and kill 5 girls. Like, 5 girls run on the side, little girls run on the side from this side. Old lady runs on there, and maybe there's a concrete girder in the middle. Like, you can head on straight into that.
Kill yourself.
The car has to make a decision. So the car at that point has to decide that. So this is one of the biggest problems, and I'm not actually sure how Tesla are able to have fully automated cars already, because I'm not sure to what point this problem is solved. But the car, that's not like just shut down car.
Nah.
The car has to
make a decision.
Has to make a decision.
See,
based on what we would emotively think the right thing to be.
Is it emotively or what we would
Rationally.
logically do? Because remember in iRobot where the robot saves Will Smith instead of the little girl because he had a high percentage chance of living than the little girl did.
Yeah, so it's got to run those algorithms, but it's also got to think old lady's lived 80 years of her life, 5 young girls at 5 years old. That's you're probably taking 1 year from an old lady, or sorry, 1 year, maybe like 5 to 10 years from an old lady. Or you're probably saving
like 500 years. 500
together. Years, 500 years of from the little girls.
Yeah.
So you've got to think about all that shit. And what I mean
in a second,
what I'm saying is logically you got to do the algorithms, but you got to also understand humanity.
Yeah.
So the goal for these computers, artificial general intelligence, is to think like us.
So
to think not to have the emotions, not to have the hurt in the heart and the anxiousness in the brain and the whatever, but to think like a human, but to also be able to do it in obviously a rational and logical way.
So it would be to always have our best interest at heart, but thinking logically in doing so.
Well, the problem is one of the problems is one of the problems is trying to make sure that a computer has our best interests at heart. So we have to try and program. We have to try and program kindness and also. We have to program computers to look out for us,
but the thing
even when
is,
it's not in the best interest of every other living organism on the planet. Which is most of the fucking time.
But that's why I think if it was just logical all the time, that would be better. Because if we programmed emotions and shit into it, I'd be like, "Hey, Steve the robot." Why do I keep saying Steve? It's strange.
Logical for who though?
Well, so the robot always thinks logically. Always logically.
In terms of who? Us, obviously.
Yeah, for us, yeah. So, because if we programmed emotions into the robot and I said, Johnny, can you go and make me a toasted sandwich?
Yeah.
Those emotions that come out, I was like, oh, fuck you, Tom. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. And we're like, that's ridiculous. We don't need those emotions.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of interesting questions and I just think it's really a fascinating topic because a lot of the smartest minds on the planet think that this is our biggest. We're effectively creating gods.
Well, yep,
we are creating gods.
True. Yep,
we are creating people that
things.
By all rights, we shouldn't have to create anything else ever again.
Yeah,
that's a thought process or a thought project. We're also creating things that are going to be so far advanced and more powerful than us that we become quite insignificant.
Well, do you know there's a theory out there that some people believe that God got so scared of his invention and didn't want anything to do with it that's why he put himself up there
in heaven.
Yep. Well, if you want to call it heaven.
That's a fucking garbage theory.
people are wondering like
he hid up in the clouds.
Yeah, he hid because he just didn't want to face the insane amount of negative stuff that we can do.
Well, that's right. It's
like the whole thing, the whole contradiction of God is ever loving and all this sort of stuff, but you shouldn't do this, and this, And the reason they say that is because he started off thinking it would be a sweet idea by making humans, and then they turned into something that he did not expect, and then he's like, oh shit, I can't believe I've done this, and then he parked himself up in a cloud.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know about the parking stuff up in the story. I mean, I get the philosophical idea behind it.
That's right. Yeah.
What is interesting is a lot of other people think that the way to solve the problem of not being able to control artificial intelligence is to make sure that the intelligence that we create is augmented intelligence. Mm-hmm. So you've obviously heard about the plans to insert microchips in our brains so that we're basically always connected to, say, Google, the highest fucking source of information that we can.
Yep. Or Nutrigrain packets.
Yep.
They're good.
So that's the other option, is that people believe that we can go down the path of making ourselves unbelievably intelligent. So we still think like a human because we are a human.
Yep.
But what about the fact that if that happens, so say we get to augmented intelligence, right? We get to augmented intelligence and a bunch of the leading entrepreneurs in the world, a bunch of the leading politicians in the world, and the basically the leaders, the thought leaders and the leaders of the world get augmented intelligence. Then how long does that augmented intelligence take to go over into North Korea?
Yeah.
So Kim Jong-un humans.
Is he still around? Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, it was Kim Jong-il, and then Kim Jong-un is the dictator now, right?
And then Kim Jong-do.
Anyway, so so you think of like, and I've stolen a lot of these thoughts and a lot of these things that I'm saying nearly directly from this book that I'm talking. But it's just the ideas.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but another thing that they talk about in this book that I've just been reading is mankind's greatest weapon is the atomic bomb or the nuclear bomb or the hydrogen bomb. I don't know.
I think it's a hydrogen bomb.
Hydrogen bomb. So if that's the case, whatever, the nuclear bomb, hydrogen bomb,
whatever sort of bomb.
So that's our greatest weapon that we've been able to come up with, and we are running at general intelligence, our intelligence. So what happens when we either create artificial superintelligence that gets in the wrong hands, or what happens when, more importantly, we have, or more interestingly, is we have augmented reality that gets in the wrong hands. So what happens when Kim Jong-un...
So what do you mean augmented intelligence?
It's having a chip in our head.
Oh, so we're truly... Well, we're pretty much already like that. We've got a fucking...
Not really.
We've got Google in our hand, man.
Yeah, no, but that's not super intelligence.
What do you mean?
Because it's still not as smart as us. Our phone isn't as smart as us.
Oh, so when we become like cyber robots.
When we get to the point where we're at the singularity where artificial general intelligence is...
Connected.
Artificial general intelligence. At the level of us.
Yes.
Then 2 years after that, it'll be twice as smart as us.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is we do have that right now, and we could put chips in our brains right now to help us access the internet or whatever. That's fine. But we can only access it at a power much less powerful than our current human brain.
Yep.
So when it gets to 2050 and we're at equal billing, and then it gets to 2052 and it's twice as smart as us, imagine me and you sitting here having a conversation when we are statistically
straight away
twice as smart.
Yeah, that's right. Where we straight away say everything perfectly correct.
Yeah.
And say the funniest jokes and
so
scary.
there's a lot of things that are really scary. In fact, of like, when do we have the things that keep us human, like faults? When do we have
emotions?
Learn
by doing.
But more importantly than that, what happens when augmented intelligence gets in the wrong hands? So our greatest weapon was a nuclear bomb, hydrogen bomb, whatever. So Kim Jong-un, just using him as an example, please don't blow up Australia. But
well, he has actually found at the show this one.
Yeah. So Kim Jong-un is a terrible dictator. What happens when he becomes 100 times smarter than the average human being? Think of the.
But then we'll all be 100 times smarter as well.
We will, so we can combat it. But you can't combat, like, say for example, the Cold War. The Cold War, whatever, nuclear arms race. So they had a doomsday clock.
Yep.
Because one press of a button, humanity was nearly pretty much wiped out.
Pretty sure with the whole Bay of Pigs saga, I remember one president or someone in the room thinking that it's going to be the end of the world.
Yeah. So people that grew up, through that period believe that the world, a lot of people believe the world was going to end. So from nuclear holocaust. And that's at the press of a button.
Yeah.
So although we would be the same level of intelligence from the people that lead the world. You know, if it's artificial superintelligence or augmented superintelligence, then it's probably going to be accessible to the higher powers in the Western world, maybe like first, I don't know, before maybe say a dictator. But then when the dictator gets their hands on it, then what's to stop them pressing a button?
Well, the only thing is...
That finishes it all.
Well, the same thing I would say with the Cold War is that everybody knew that one press of a button would be the end of the world, and no one wants to die.
No, that's right. But the Cold War...
Because it fucks them up just as much as it fucks us up.
That's right. But with an artificial superintelligence or an augmented superintelligence in a dictator, then you can come to the point where it's like, okay, I can press this button that eradicates every one of my enemies, keeps the land fertile for growth, and I wipe out the whole Western world, for example, in the Kim Jong-un, just example, and I wipe out the whole Western world, and we can go in and just take over, and we can take over those lands. Because obviously with a nuclear bomb you can't do that.
Yep.
But with artificial superintelligence
you could.
or augmented superintelligence, you could find a way that you could press one button and then that would happen.
That
and then
specific, yep.
Well,
I mean, you could pretty much do that now. I mean, North Korea and all that sort of stuff, they'd have drones and they'd have they'd be able to...
they don't have as much power.
They don't have as much power, but I really just believe that this is going to continue to growing where every big superpower in the world knows that each other superpower has tons of power to severely damage them. And it's just like, well, we're smarter than that. And we know that we're not going to do that because it's just insane.
Yeah, but humans aren't smarter than that across
they
the board.
have been so far.
Well, not really.
Because the world's still here.
The world's still here, but we've only had the potential to fuck the world up for X amount of time.
Like 50 years?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's long.
I'd say someone had done it.
Okay, put it this way. Here's a terrible example that you don't ever want to put in your brain.
Yep.
But it's an example that's worth talking about.
Yep.
Adolf Hitler has augmented superintelligence.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true.
So the Nazis and Adolf Hitler come around every very, very, very infrequently.
Once every 1,000 years.
Once every 1,000 years or whatever. We have, I don't know how you quantify that, but they come out very, very, very infrequently, but they come out. There's people out there like that. Regimes can build like that and put that power in the hands of that regime, and
we're screwed.
Yeah,
his plan was German. To do that. His plan was to make the whole world German, Aryan,
100%.
To start all those death camps like all across the Western civilization and across Europe, and that was insane.
100%.
I mean when those death camps started up, that was only the start of him. Like he had big plans, which is fucking scary even to think about. Oh man, wow.
So
that's really interesting. That's a really interesting. That was a good example.
Yeah, that was my trump card.
Yeah, that really was your trump card. You did that well.
I'm like, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What about this?
And I was like, ooh.
But
yeah.
No, it's because I don't really know. You don't really know how far. None of us really know how. We're not at the forefront of it, so we don't know how close any of this stuff is. We just read books and we see articles, whatever, and we can just have a fun thought experiment speculate about it. But it's the world's getting so powerful in the warfare and in the intelligence
and
explosion that's happened.
Individually,
it's going to be a scary time, or it could be like the positive side of the artificial intelligence or the intelligence explosion, and the what people think about, where cancer is going to be eradicated, hunger is going to be eradicated, global warming will cease to exist. Like, we can figure all that shit out. I have no doubt that humans could figure that shit out. But with artificial intelligence, we'll figure that out quicker, or we don't have to. It will figure it out. So there's positives, but there's also very, very scary
negatives.
One button away negatives.
Yep. Definitely. Yep. It's interesting. But I wonder if people 100 years ago were looking or, theorizing about what our world's like today and thinking the same thing. We're going to have the power of information in our hand and it's going to be this and that and,
Yeah, well, they definitely wouldn't have been thinking that because the internet kind of took people by surprise.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
But still, they probably, they probably thought warfare, maybe there'd be bombs that would be able to wipe out the planet. And that's fine. So... They probably were to some extent.
It's crazy to think that the internet's it came out, 2000? 1999? Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's only like 17, 20 years if you want to call it that.
It's young. Crazy when you think about that.
20 years.
It's
and yet what we can do
insane.
now is insane. Like, we wouldn't have a show without it.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely, I think, the biggest. Well, I don't know. It's
revolution.
Biggest revolution.
Definitely, of all time, for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Way bigger than like the TV and the telephone.
No, well, that's all for sure, 100%. I was comparing it to like agriculture.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Agriculture changed the world.
Yeah, it did.
And the internet will change the world. Is changing the
It
world.
is changing the
you know?
world, yeah.
The internet and intelligence. You know, so it's
But the phone changed the world.
the phone changed the world, but not.
Old mate
I mean-
Spud Graham Bell.
I didn't mind the old cup and string, mate.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
old cup and string. Didn't mind that one, yeah. Did you ever get around the Morse code?
No.
What does this mean? Doot, 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 doot. That means save our soul.
Yeah,
That's
good
a light way to
stuff.
finish it off, yeah.
Nice light note to finish it off.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
good one. It's
we
good final gag. Yeah.
good little gag to finish it off, yeah.
Wasn't that good?
Wasn't that?
It was a gag.
I'm not that funny. Yeah. I looked that up on Google, actually. So, if you guys want to hear more stuff like that,
We do this after.
one sec. Bill and I are going to talk about this after. No, but if you want to hear more shit like that, we love talking about this sort of
The
stuff.
reason I always cut Tommy off when he's about to do our outro on our show is because
We're not supposed to.
we never know which sponsors are actually going to be
Yes.
sponsoring this podcast, so we always cut it off. But
Well,
but we kind of do. But anyway,
yeah.
that's it from us.
That's good. I enjoyed it.
Is that what you were going to say, or you were going to say?
That's what I was going to say. That was
Yeah.
it from us. But if you like more of this stuff,
just tell us.
we're happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we love it. We love
Sorry
it.
if that's what you were trying to say, not the outro.
No, it's
And I
all good,
fucked
you dickhead.
Yeah. So thanks, guys, and here's man Tommy again with the outro.
Alrighty, guys, that was the show. We hope you enjoyed it.
I don't really mind.
Yeah, you don't really mind if they enjoyed it or not?
We get a fair few of our shows are pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't care if we miss one.
Yeah, if it
Fuck
was
'em.
real shit. Fuck 'em. Fuck all the
That's a joke, guys.
yeah, we love you.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
I mean, I love you. I mean, fuck yeah, but we love you. I mean,
It's a joke. I hope you like that show too. That was a real conversation that's at the forefront of.
that was a real conversation. Bill and I didn't actually talk.
It was a virtual conversation.
Yeah, we just mimed the whole show. We should do a miming show.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
It'd be quiet.
So
Interesting topic, though.
If you did like anything from that show, guys, and we actually do really hope that you did, head to www.adventurefittravel.com/radio. You can find our show notes there. It's got links to all the books, all the things that we mentioned, all the different articles and links. They'll all be in there. And then if you are a first-time listener of the show, then please subscribe.
Welcome.
If you are a multiple-time listener, or if you're a regular listener, please send us a rating and review. Both on iTunes would be great. Also, make sure you check out our sponsors. Head to www.carve.ph/ADVF. Get your joining fee of $297 waived after your free call if you decide to go ahead. And then also head to www.carve.ph/ADVF. Get 10 free hours on any project. Check them out. Get some time back in your life. Upscale your business. And lastly, but not leastly, Adventure Fit Radio, Adventure Fit Travel, sorry. Head to www.adventurefittravel.com. Use the code RADIO and you will get 10% off anything and everything there.
I like it. I really like it, Bill. I really, really like it.
You can buy a date with Tommy.
I really like you, Bill.
Thanks, man.
I think you're a good, passionate man. I think you've got a lot going for you. I think you have a horrendous beard, but I think that I don't know. I'm excited to see where you go in the next.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And like I said, genuinely, you can buy a date with Tommy. Just email me and I'll set it all up.
Yep, I don't cost much. $12 to be exact. Just cover the protein shake and the donuts.
Alrighty, see you next week.
Discovery Roger, go for deploy.